What is up, YouTube? It is me, your buddy, your pal, HeyArcher. Welcome back to my channel. Sorry for the 1 minute delay today. Let's see. I was trying to download new sounds for the board and completely ran out of time. So all we had was the idiot one, which I do want to use on more than one occasion, of course. What is up, Michelle? Family Zoom as a topic. We can definitely talk about that for sure. Right there. Hope everybody is having a great day. Thanks for the thumbs up. By the way, if you are here, hit the thumbs up or subscribe to the channel if you're a new visitor. And leave comments in the chat. I definitely want to interact with all of you on the show today, as I set up everything last minute like I usually do. But let's turn that off. Here on HeyArcher, we of course talk everything nerdy across everything. Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Star Trek, or whatever you want to talk about. And that's the best part about HeyArcher Live, is that we're talking about whatever it is that you want to talk about. So some of you have already submitted questions, so I'll go over those topics. But of course, throw everything down in the comment section, so then that way I can address all of it. We can talk together, and hopefully at some point you can be a guest on the show. Now, just because it's nerd-based as a channel doesn't mean it only has to be nerd content. So if you actually want to talk about content creation, if you have questions about doing your own live streams or making YouTube videos or podcasts, you can, of course, throw those questions in the comment section. But as I mentioned, I'd love it if you can all leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and there's tons of videos based on just that. So, again, Michelle in the house. Whoa, William White in the house. Welcome, buddy. Welcome. You get an applause on that one. HeyArcher for the win. Aaron, good to see you, of course. And I have both my cousins on. Fantastic. So, again, leave a thumbs up, everyone, if you are ready for the show. I hope you have all had a great week. Actually, I don't even need the headphones, but because now I can see my sound levels, which are great. I hope you guys all had a great week. I hope that you've been trying to get outside a little bit, using, of course, all the social distance rules, if they exist in your area. Even if they don't exist in your area, just follow what the states are doing that have the rules. That just makes more sense. So, as far as topics, let's just dive into Family Zoom. Love that. So, those of you who have been doing family Zoom calls, group Google Hangouts, Facebook, not Facebook. I don't know if you could do a Facebook Hangout thing. I'm not sure. But if you're doing any kind of like family gatherings in the digital space, I want you to throw that in the comments. So let me know how those are going, because ours are fantastic. It is, I think the best part about this whole transition into the work from home lifestyle is just the concept that most of our parents, grandparents have no idea what any of this stuff is. And it's just yelling over each other, but they're not yelling because they want to yell. They're just yelling because they just have to go over the next person because they can't hear what the other person's saying. There's no headphones involved or anything like that. So for me personally, it's a big win. It's a lot of fun whenever we're doing the family Zoom calls. So of course, like I said, put in the comments if you're doing the same thing. I'd love to hear it. And let me know what your best part is, because for me, it is the boomers, of course, in in all the chats. Actually, I do need my headphones because then I won't hear how loud the sound effects are. I have to work on that. Work in progress, as always. And before I dive all the way into the comments, a lot of you have asked, well, the light's kind of reflecting on it, but the HeyArcher mug, some of you got it who won the giveaway that I did on the channel for 150 subscribers. And a lot of you have asked, where can I get a mug if you did not win it in the 150 subscribers? So I'm thinking, and let me know in the comments what you think. I'm thinking that, well, for one, there's a merch release that's coming, right? And if you listen to HeyArcher, I think the podcast primarily, but I might have mentioned it on live. I have a whole idea, and I have a whole bunch of samples that have come in for merchandise I'm going to release. And it's going to be on HeyArcher.com, which I should definitely have some sort of overlay for that. But actually, you can see it on the TV back there. So HeyArcher.com, you're going to want to follow there because once the merch is released, you can go there. So we're at currently 179 subscribers, I want to say. May be more or less in that area, ballpark. So for one, if you have not subscribed, you want to do that. But I'm thinking once we hit 200 subscribers in, 24 hours from there, 48 hours from there, I'll just release the merch. I haven't received everything yet. There's still like 2 things missing, but I'm confident enough that it can go. So I'm thinking at 200 subs, 200 subscribers, we'll do the merch release, and I'll do some sort of giveaway on the mugs too. So maybe if you win in whatever giveaway it is and you order merch, I'll send you a mug. Or maybe it'll be like if you order a certain amount, you get a mug. Some sort of way for me to just give the mug out. Because I kind of don't want this to be its own thing online. It costs too much to ship, and it wouldn't be fair to you. And I care about all of you. I don't want you to pay all those exorbitant shipping costs. So I want to find a way to give all of you the mug for free. So we'll go from there, of course. So let's go down. We'll ask, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, worth it to get Xbox Series X? That's a great question. Great question, but I'm also a terrible person to ask about the video games. But here's the thing. I'm still up to date on everything. I just don't play everything. Now, as far as Assassin's Creed goes, I was always a fan of the parts of the game that had nothing to do with was it also like Ezra or something like that? Like whatever the guy's name was, you guys can put it in the comments. The main character of Assassin's Creed. Like I hated all those parts. I really, like everybody, you just want to play the back in time stuff. So if Valhalla actually has none of that and it's just the Viking stuff, I don't want to spoil what happens in the main story in case you don't know, but if it just has all the Viking stuff, I think that game's going to be sick. I think it's going to be potentially to the level of Red Dead Redemption, maybe. Whether you should get it on Xbox X or not. I've been Team PS4 for a long time, but granted, everything has caught up so closely in time. I'll say buy whichever one's cheaper at that time. That is my suggestion. But good one. And let's see what we got. Stacy with the shout out. Good to see you, cousin. Yes. Hopefully I got it right. That is our family, yeah. I mean, that's the fun part. The fun part about this whole digital era in its own weird way is that we're all like, a whole bunch of us are now interacting on a regular basis in its own way, more so than we were pre-quarantine, which is nuts. For example, for Christmas, I got my mom an iPad, all by coincidence. Because in Christmas, COVID wasn't a thing. And it's a good thing I did because she's not a smartphone person at all. So the fact that I got her the iPad, now we actually talk more often through FaceTime than we did when she didn't have it. And because we don't live in the same state, again, I'm talking to her and interacting more in quarantine than when not in quarantine, which is interesting. Sorry, I am just making sure that the stream looks good. So in the comments, of course, let me know if the stream looks good. Let me know if it sounds good. All of that jazz. So, Aaron, you got your mug. Awesome. Yeah, so again, as a reminder, I did 150 giveaway with the mugs, 150 subscriber giveaway with the mugs. So that's how some people got it. Sorry, my phone's just really slow whenever I'm doing these by coincidence. So that's why it's taking me a while. So yeah, I did 150 subscriber giveaway for the mugs. So at 200, we'll do something else for that. And that's where I'm not sure if it's going to be related. I mean, at 200, I'll release the merch. But how I give away the mugs during the release of the merch, that we'll see. So, of course, you're going to want to share these videos, share my content. And that way you get the subs up to 200 before you even know it. Michelle is excited for that. I also now understand the whole point of having a studio manager or like some sort of like tech to run shows. Because when you're trying to do it all yourself, it's all kinds of a mess, I must say. We got Boba Fett and Bo-Katan in Mandalorian Season 2. How are they going to make it work? Oh, I love that question. So, in the comments, let me know if you guys all have been watching Mandalorian or did watch Mandalorian. And let me know if you watched Clone Wars, which I still owe a final 2-minute review on the last episode. How do I think it's going to work in The Mandalorian? I think all these new characters like Boba Fett that they bring in, Bo-Katan, I think they're going to be one-offs in the show, like a single episode type thing. Even though they did a lot in the last season, the show is still super expensive to make. It's from my understanding, I'm not an insider or anything, but it's pretty expensive to make even as you watch it. So I think they're going to release a lot of characters on like kind of one-off type levels. My concern with the show is that Jon Favreau, kind of running the whole thing, did an awesome job in season 1 with what he had. And I'm afraid that Disney's going to do what Marvel did way back when he actually had the home run hit of Iron Man. And if you don't know, when Jon Favreau made Iron Man, it was like not supposed to succeed, because before that, the only movies that were good were like Blade 1, Blade 2, and then maybe X-Men, but it was mostly Spider-Man that was like the big, superhero movies with a lot of special effects, because Batman's kind of its own thing, which we'll get to Batman. But Jon Favreau made Iron Man, and it was kind of like he put a lot of thought into the development of Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, a lot into the story, a lot into the graphics, doing, just using what he had. And when Iron Man 1 was a huge hit, Marvel was like, all right, great. We need another one. He was like, cool. It takes me 2 years to make these. And they're like, great. You only have 1 year to make it. Do it now. And we're going to make all these changes to your scripts. So anytime he submitted something, it was like, nope, change it. We want this. Change it. We want this. So my fear is that Disney will do that for The Mandalorian Season 2, where Season 1 was a big reason a lot of people went to Disney Plus. People who probably just had Hulu at the time and didn't really need it. But Mandalorian brought in a lot of people. Baby Yoda specifically brought in a lot of people. So I hope Disney keeps their hands out of it and lets John and Dave Filoni do their own thing. So going back to the question, I think those kinds of characters will be one-offs. I think they announced Boba Fett in there because he actually will not be the main. I think that actor will play Boba Fett in an episode, but I think he'll also play Rex because they're bringing Ahsoka in. So we'll see how that goes. But I also think that at some point, a lot of these characters, since Clone Wars did so well, I think a lot of these characters at a certain point are going to kind of drift off into their own stories. So they're not going to want to do a lot with Mandalorian. They're going to want to hold off, let them have a cameo here and there, but then they'll have their own maybe TV shows or own books or what you may have. But that is a great question. Take all my money. All right. Can I take your money before the mugs come out? Is the question. That's what I'll do. Maybe I'll crowdfund the store. We want all the merch. I think you mean merch. HeyArcher the shirt. HeyArcher the lunchbox. HeyArcher the keychain. HeyArcher the cereal. HeyArcher the coloring book. I guess I'll let you guess. One of those is actually going to be a thing. Let you guess which one it is, but I kind of like the other one. There you go. Ezo. I knew it was something like that. And looks and sounds great. Thank you kindly. All right. So for now, that ends the questions that were in the chat. So I'll go to the questions that were submitted before we got into this. So again, if you're watching, welcome. Hit subscribe down below. Hit the thumbs up, of course. This is your show. So as I go through some of the questions that were submitted before, you can submit your questions in the comment section, of course. I will then take a drink out of my HeyArcher mug. Idiot! Maybe that'll be my drink sound. I need a cool like drink sound to play. All right, so the first one up. Actually, I'll go with the easiest one first because I've already talked about this. Justice League Apocalypse War. Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. So a lot of people have been saying the movie's awesome, we want more of it, blah, blah, blah. I've already done a review on it, so if you're interested in that, there is a video. You can go into my 2-minute reviews, and you'll find my video on Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. There is one thing I wanted to add on it, though, and I think that's probably where the root of the question was coming from. Where does this fall into the timeline of Justice League movies? I did say in that review that I wasn't sure where it falls in, and since then, I don't think it falls in at all. I think what they did was they just wanted to make their own like standalone, like just uber violent movie where they just do whatever they wanted to do. I don't think there was any real, we're going to try to get, they may have thought they wanted it to fit into places, but I don't think they consulted the right people to do that. Because there's a lot of things that are not, things don't match up correctly for it to be in line with the rest of the movies. Like certain things do, certain animations do, but for the way the story played out, and I won't spoil it for any of you, for the way the story played out, it didn't line up with what they already had created. So that's why I'm like, it doesn't really fall into place. The other one I saw was somebody did a review and said, actually that would spoil it, I guess. Watch the movie, and then maybe I'll do that. Watch the movie if you can. If you've not seen the movie and you want to know how good it is, you can actually, Aaron, who's in the chat, go to his channel. He has a review on it that's spoiler free. You can watch that one, and then when you do watch it, go watch my spoiler review, and that way you can get my idea of. Because again, if I mention what other people are saying in a way, it could spoil the story of the movie. I don't want to do that. So again, overall, I think that the movie is, it's amazing. It's super violent. You may not want the kids around for it unless they normally watch violent things. But as far as it lining up with the rest of the DC animated universe, even though a lot of those characters are the same designs, I don't think it really falls in. If that makes a sense. So that was Justice League. Now, the man of the week that has come up, and a lot of people are on the fence about this story. So, again, like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. 200 subscribers, I've released the merch. So let's get there ASAP. We have a lot of movies that are delayed at the moment. And because of that, production is also delayed. Now, an actor has come out and said that even though productions are delayed, even though the movie is still happening, he's actually not trying to work out for the role in the sense of, I want to change who I am, what I look like type of thing, is the vibe that I got from reading it. Our friend, Mr. Sparkly, Robert Pattinson, a lot of people are like, what's going on? Because he said last week that he's actually not working out intensely for the role of Batman. So in the comments, actually let me know if you're excited for this movie, right? And before I even go into it, I want to say this. Actually, somebody made I liked it. Somebody actually made a meme of all the actors and actresses that when people saw the announcements, they were all like pissed off about it. And then when the movies came out, they're now popular. One, of course, being Gal Gadot. Everybody was not happy about her being Wonder Woman. I think I rode that train as well, but not very hard. Only because after Heath Ledger, which was also on the list, I learned I'm not going to judge any characters. I'm not going to judge any actors on how they're going to portray a superhero, because Heath Ledger on paper had no business being Joker. And yet that ended up being one of the debatable best interpretations of Joker ever. So from that point on, I was like, okay, I'm not going to judge any of these actors and actresses until I see them do the role. Right. So, of course, let me know if you agree with that. So Mr. Pattinson over there has been taking a lot of flack for being Batman because of Twilight, of course. Now, if you've seen the movie Lighthouse, let me know in the comments, of course. Social media, hit me up, HeyArcher, wherever, because I'm curious, and it's on my watch list. I want to see how he acts in that movie, because I think this is the movie he's using to prep for Batman. And a lot of times, actors and actresses will do that. They'll do a smaller movie where they'll play a character, and there's something about that character that's similar to their major role character that's coming up. A great example of that is Chadwick Boseman. I may have mispronounced his last name just now after I said it. But Chadwick, he did a movie before Black Panther where he was essentially practicing having some sort of accent that wasn't his own. And that was what he was using to kind of prep for doing Black Panther. So with Robert Pattinson doing the Lighthouse movie, I'm thinking that's a prep for that. Now, people are pissed off at him because he doesn't look like Batman. When you generally think Batman, you're thinking somewhere along the lines of Christian Bale as in live action form. Outside of live action form, you're generally thinking of the super muscular Batman you have in the comic books. So, I of course want you to tell me who's your favorite Batman, but the Christian Bale Batman, I agree, the more muscular looking Batman is what Batman does end up becoming, right? I have no issue with that. The other Batman, though, I also have no issue with that, because if this movie is supposed to be it's supposed to be like a Batman like year 2 type of story where he's still younger, which Robert Pattinson is not, but he's still younger, but he's just starting off as Batman. And an issue I always kind of had with the Batman character was being that he's so like muscular and big. I always found it hard that he could be a ninja, like, or be silent, be able to do the kind of acrobatics he can do, etc. Now, you can argue that that's why he's not as acrobatic as like all the Robins have been. Batman's the more, I guess to do a martial art, he's the more like judo type fighter, brawler type fighter, because he's very well planted. The flips are only coming to evade versus like all the Robins. They're doing the acrobatics and I can't think of the style of martial art where they're flying through the air for show, but they're doing that kind of like, we're flying through the air, we're doing flips and all that kind of stuff. So with them, I think they should always be interpreted as like more skinny, more limber looking because of all of what they're doing. Batman, I think to start with, should be that, because again, he's training with Ninja, with Ra's al Ghul and all of them, or League of Assassins, if you're going to follow the Christian Bale story. But if you're just doing the normal Batman story, he still trains with martial artists, just not the League. So I think that being a year 1, year 2 Batman, it's super beneficial to have him be skinnier, but athletic looking versus like Batman in the comics you see where he's benching like 600 pounds and doing all that kind of stuff. So I'm curious what you all think about that. You can leave that in the comments. But for me, I think him taking the approach of, I'm not trying to get super jacked for this role, I'm just trying to stay lean and whatnot, I actually think that's a better fit for an early year Batman versus the Christian Bale version. Because even here, the Christian Bale version, this picture I think is from Batman Begins, it looks like. And in Batman Begins, in this scene, again, if that's what we're looking at, he's still super young, Bruce Wayne. So showing up to the League, not being at the Batman level yet, doesn't really make sense for him to be super muscular. He's been traveling the world learning martial arts. So that's my thought on that. I'm good with Pattinson over there. I think he's a little old to be playing young Batman we're going to make a series of movies off of this, but overall, I'll give him a clap. Fantastic. Dope. Let's turn those off. That was actually a new thing I tried. I've not done the overlay concept here on the Stream Deck, so it actually worked out quite fine. I really enjoyed that. And of course, let me know if you enjoyed that too. Other than that, I think it's been a fun episode. I've not done a lot of videos this week, primarily because I've been really busy with the job that pays my income and pays for all this. So that's why I've not done a lot of videos this week. But if you have not watched HeyArcher 159 that I released on, I think, Monday or so, I'm going to be not rebooting or anything, but I'm going to start doing more 2-minute reviews again. I'm going to restart pick back up the Working Moms 2-minute reviews. So if you're a fan of that, leave a thumbs up, of course. But I want to do more fun reviews of a show that's more lighthearted. I feel a lot of the reviews lately, a lot of the shows lately are more just like brooding, I guess you could say. Not so much sunshine. So, and hey, maybe Working Moms turns into that, and then I'm right back to where I started. But I'm thinking about I'm going back into the Working Moms well to do reviews on that. And then I will also start doing the 2-minute tips. So I'll start dropping those probably once a week or so, where I'll just give you a tip on how to do all of this in 2 minutes or less in that same format. And we'll do this weekend another rambling, so stay tuned for that. Anthony will be on to, of course, talk Senor Batman. I think we're going to do something more based on the animated series of Batman, so should be a lot of fun. Give one last glance at the chat. Thank you, all of you, for being here. Of course, subscribe so we can get to that 200 and release the merch. And I think we will call it a show. And of course, thank you for being flexible and showing up so late on a Thursday, where normally the show is around 3 o'clock. I think next week we'll be back at the 3:30 time slot, so stay tuned for that. But I, of course, want to thank all of you for being here. Like I said, it's always fun interacting with all of you in the chat. It's fun interacting with all of you on social media and you telling me where this show is going to go on the live episodes. So, stay well, be safe, stay nerdy. It's very important. And I'll talk to all you nerds in the next video. Peace.